Time. Ole Miss has made it to the Super Regional for consecutive years, for the first time in recent memory, really. Great coaching job. This will go down, Chris, as one of the best coaching jobs of Mike Bianco in his career.
There's no doubt. I think, given, and we've talked a little bit about the injuries that we've seen within the team before, but absolutely, Mike's done a great job this year, as well as Laugh and Clem. They've all done really well. I'm really happy with where we are right now. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do, and hopefully, we keep this chain going for a long time. I'm really excited about the opportunity that faces us in Arizona. I'll get right into my thoughts on Arizona. Pac-12 champions, so a team that's done really well this season. 43 and 15 overall record. From a home standpoint, which I think is important for us to look at, they're 29 and 7, so they have dropped a number of games at home. They're 21 and 9 in the Pac-12. The two series they dropped in the Pac-12 were at UCLA and at Stanford, and they did avoid Oregon this year. So I thought that was kind of interesting from a comparison of a really high quality opponent. They obviously didn't face the same competition that Ole Miss has, and regional host after regional host after regional host. You go up and down our roster, and our schedule, and it's pretty interesting to see. We played Florida, we played Vanderbilt, we played State, and so it's just really interesting from that perspective.
Yeah, you look at Arizona Stadium where the game's going to be played. It's about 350 down the lines, 410 down the power alleys, and 390 to straightaway center. I believe it is the field that was used in the spring training stuff from Major League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
It's a high quality facility from the research that I've done. Does seat 9,500, so that's a relatively big stadium out there. An interesting tidbit that I looked at when I was doing a little research, looking at the box scores from last week. I'm not going to say they don't draw really well, but they don't draw really well in comparison to SEC standards. They're, 5,300 on Friday night, 4,100 Saturday night, and for their championship game on Sunday night, they drew 3,600. So obviously, this is not going to be a SEC sized crowd, and so I don't expect the crowd to really bother the guys at all. They're used to playing in very hostile environments. While the fans may be passionate out there, they're just not going to bring the same volume that a Starkville does, or even a Florida does, or a Georgia does for that matter. So I'm not really concerned about the atmosphere really at all. It should be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of the atmosphere, Arizona is known for their extra base hits and doubles and triples, and a lot of that is the way that park plays into that, and they play all their home games. But are you concerned about the drier air, the I don't know thinner air, affecting the breaking stuff of our pitching staff?
I'm not really too concerned about that. I think our guys can adjust pretty well to that. It really was interesting to do some stat comparisons of the two teams just really quickly. Overall, Arizona does hit the ball really well. They've got a tremendous offense. You talked about the doubles. They've got 128 doubles, which I believe leads the whole nation in doubles. Their overall team batting average is 327, so really really high. And they've got 9 guys with over 100 bats that are hitting over 300. And when you compare them to us, we only have 5 guys with over 100 at bats that are hitting over 300. So obviously they're really disciplined at the plate and put the ball out there. They had 36 hits last week, outscored their opponents 21-4. So they can hit the ball around, and it's not going to be. This weekend was really interesting from a home run perspective. If you remember back to Saturday and then fast forward to Monday, Doug did give up 4 home runs, but 3 of those were all solo shots. And so they just don't, like we've talked on the show, they really don't hurt you. Arizona has hit 62 home runs compared to the Rebels' 82. So I think that comes out favorably for us. And you talked about the straightaway shots to center field, which I think our guys can do. From a pitching perspective, their weekend pitching is good. but it's not unhittable. Saturday night, their pitcher did throw a complete game, three hit shutout, so that was really impressive in a regional setting. But on Friday night, they did pull their Friday night starter after allowing just 9 hits, or allowing 9 hits in 4 runs and 3 innings. So it was really interesting to see the comparison of the two there.
Yeah, it's weird that Arizona and Ole Miss kind of mirrors each other, not necessarily specifically in places, but Ole Miss offense, Arizona offense, the pitching staff woes. Ole Miss has been eaten up by injuries this year. So there are some similarities that I am looking forward to seeing play out in Tucson.
Yeah, absolutely. Staff ERA for them of 4.34, staff ERA for us of 4.55. So relatively close in that comparison. Ole Miss pitchers have recorded 736 strikeouts, while the Arizona staff has 545. So our guys are going to, strike them out a little bit more, I think. And, Doug's going to hopefully be rested up and ready to go. So I'm really excited for the series, real excited to look and see how the pitching matchups go. And we'll get into that a little bit more on Friday, Saturday, and, Sunday if necessary. So stay tuned.
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here, I can't let you go without some sort of a prediction of who we're going to throw on Friday. It hasn't been released, but what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, good question. I don't. It's going to either be Doug or Diamond. I at this point, I guess I lean toward Doug, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Derek either. I mean, it's just Derek had to start on Friday last week, and Doug had to start on Saturday. So if you look at that from a normal rest, and they both threw on Monday. So if you look at that from a normal rest standpoint, then you would go Derek on Friday and Doug on Saturday. However, I don't know what Arizona's doing yet and how Mike feels that might match up as well.
Yeah. Other thing to remember this year is this is the climate that Derek Diamond came up in. He's used to it. This is what he kind of knows. So anybody that would be able to handle that arid climate, it would be him if he's announced on Friday night.
Yeah, just just really great opportunity. I know the guys are going to be jacked up. They're flying out today, which I thought was really not interesting, but they're going to have a practice day tomorrow, so kind of expected. But it's almost like a major league model when you get to the postseason except for you don't know where you're going. And so it's just it's baseball for these guys right now. Most of them are out of class. So it's kind of just baseball. There's one or two of them that are in class. So trying to work around the classwork is kind of interesting for them as well.
Yeah, if you're skipping over a time zone whenever you're traveling, going out west, it helps a little bit to acclimate, especially to the weather, because during the day it's probably going to be a shock.
Yeah, and good thing that we're playing night games. The temperature always drops quite a bit when the sun goes down out there. So I'm really happy that it's during the evening time and not a daytime start for us.
All right. Ole Miss versus Arizona in the Tucson Super Regional coming up Friday night. First pitch is at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Chris Muller, I'm Steve Willis. Tune in for a preview later in the week, a reaction later in the week. All the stuff that we're known for, but we'll see you later. Toddy toddy.
Howdy, toddy.